In preparing for today, I looked up the word hero in the dictionary. And Webster defines a hero as a person who is admired for great or brave acts or fine qualities. Now, even though nobody in this room with a badge on will call themselves a hero, I'm here to tell you that's exactly what each and every one of them are. Because I certainly consider running into a burning building, jumping out of a perfectly good boat to perform a water rescue, and teetering on the tip of a ladder 5 stories high to be brave acts. And I would say that being considered the best at what you do, a willingness to sacrifice yourself for others, and an unwavering desire to serve your community to be fine qualities. So the way I see it, we have a table full of heroes, or 2 tablesfuls of heroes, right here in front of us. Not surprisingly, every one of our nominees will downplay the actions. They'll tell you that it's part of the job, anyone in their shoes would have done it, and that may be true. But the men and women who want to be in those shoes are a very rare breed, and we owe them a great deal of gratitude and respect for what they do. So over the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you some excerpts from their nomination letters. And gentlemen, if you'll please stand when I call your name so that our attendees can see who you are. First up, we have Senior Captain Brett Hawthorne, Firefighter Louis Bernal, Firefighter Luis Gonzalez, and Engineer Operator Dwayne Weibel. Now, y'all are welcome to stay if you'd like, but you don't have to. I just wanted everybody to see you real quick. But these gentlemen, sometimes it's uncomfortable. We want to make them feel good. But these gentlemen have been with the Houston Fire Department for 25 years, 12 years, 7 years, and 31 years, respectively. We really could refer to them as the Fantastic Four, but for today's lunch, we'll just use their real names. So, on March 25th of 2014, Ladder 18, their company, responded to a report of a high-rise fire in the area of West Dallas and Montrose. And as they turned on to Montrose, they could see a column of smoke, but no flames. Really didn't look that bad. There were reports of people that were still trapped on the roof of the 5-story building, so Ladder 18 was asked to make their way to the north side of the building. As the crew of Ladder 18 approached the building, they slowed down to assess the best way to reach the north side. The typical path to gain access was tight and tough to get through, so Engineer Operator Weibel had to find an alternate route, navigating between the cars in the parking lot without scratching a single one. He did, however, take out a few shrubs, a flower bed, and part of a sprinkler system. Nobody's counting. At this point, no one was seen trapped on the roof or in the building. And as a matter of fact, there was very little smoke or fire at the scene. However, as the crew began to set up and extend the ladder, the smoke turned into a rapidly moving fire. The high winds spread the fire throughout the wooden structure, and it soon became what was described to us as the fire of a lifetime. While putting the ladder to the roof, the crew of Ladder 18 spotted someone emerge on the 5th floor balcony. Captain Hawthorne was on the tip of the ladder, but could not locate a person. So he looked back at Engineer Operator Weibel, who had actually spotted the trapped man at the corner of the roof. So Weibel moved the ladder in the direction of the victim, with the captain and firefighters Bernal and Gonzalez still on the ladder. The fire was spreading quickly, and the trapped man grabbed the ledge of the 5th floor patio and swung himself down to the 4th floor patio. So Weibel had to move the ladder to the 4th floor, where Captain Hawthorne assisted the trapped construction worker in climbing onto the ladder. Once the worker was rescued, Weibel quickly moved the ladder away from the building due to the extreme heat. And within seconds, and while still moving the ladder away from the building, the roof and the 5th floor had a catastrophic collapse, and it sent the burning debris onto the 4th floor of the building. Most of y'all may have seen that on Yahoo or the news or anything else. The tricky thing is the collapse nearly missed the captain and the victim, and it landed within a few feet of the rear of the ladder truck. So the captain and the construction worker were able to safely exit the ladder once they got a safe distance from the building. It was just 4 minutes from the start of the aerial operations of rescue to the collapse of the building. So Ladder 18 was relocated twice due to the extreme heat conditions. Firefighters Bernal and Gonzalez told us that nearly every light on the truck was melted and over 50 cars were burned. Firefighter Gonzalez said it was the craziest fire he'd ever been a part of. So it's important to note also that Firefighter Bernal told us that Dwayne is the best chauffeur he's ever seen. His skills are certainly on display. Now we can laugh, and it is funny because he did take out some shrubbery. But truly, in talking to these gentlemen, Dwayne did a fantastic job of having to move the ladder, move the truck. It's important to note also that this was not their normal truck. This was an older model that they were having to use while their truck was being serviced. So it wasn't exactly the same setup that they were used to. So without the training and the confidence of the crew of Ladder 18, this rescue would not have been performed as proficiently as it was, and that construction worker may not be here today. Firefighter Albert Capistran. Firefighter Capistran is a first-generation firefighter and has been with the fire department for 18 years. Stand up so we can see y'all. There you go. Thank you. In April of this year, Engine 105 was dispatched to Lake Houston for a car in the water. Upon arriving on the scene, the crew had observed that there was the top of a red sedan in the water about 40 to 50 feet offshore. An HPD patrol boat was requested, and a helicopter was already on the scene. The car slid down a boat ramp and into the water about 15 minutes prior to Engine 105's arrival, and with the help of the helicopter, the crews were able to locate the car's position. Once the HPD boat arrived, the crew of Engine 105 boarded the boat in an effort to rescue anyone that may have been trapped inside the car. The problem was there were several attempts made to contact the driver by calling out a name, banging on the top of the vehicle, but there was no response. And unfortunately, every time the car was touched, it slipped a little bit further underwater. So Firefighter Capistran observed about an inch of airspace at the top of the car, so both time and air were becoming even more critical. To make matters worse, the water was dirty, of course, and the inside of the car was filled with floating trash. The decision was made to tow the car to shore, and so a window punch was used to break the glass, and an opening was made so a rope could be attached to the vehicle. With the help of the rest of the engine's crew and members of the Harris County and the HPD, they were able to pull the car into shallow water. But it was at this moment, while the car was still several feet from shore, that the driver of the vehicle started to present herself through the window that had been busted out. Immediately, Firefighter Capistran jumped into the lake and rescued the victim from further harm. At shore, the crew of Engine and Medic 105 loaded, assessed, and transported the patient to the hospital. And although it was a true team effort to make this rescue, without the quick actions of Firefighter Capistran, the woman may have suffered further harm and may have passed. In addition to his regular duties, this is important to note, Firefighter Capistran is also a firehouse advocate in the Summerwood community. You can check that out on the newly created Facebook page that he did. If that's not enough, he's also studying for his life insurance license. So. And Senior Captain John Maniscalco. There he is. John's been with the Houston Fire Department for 29 years and is a second-generation firefighter. His dad was a district chief and had 30 years in it. In June of 2013, the fire department was dispatched to an apartment fire with reports of people trapped. Engine 33 and Engine 37 arrived on the scene and found smoke coming from an apartment. A resident approached Senior Captain and informed him that there was a victim still trapped inside the apartment on the second floor. So the Senior Captain and his crew, and the crew of Engine 37, immediately went to the second floor of the apartment where they encountered heavy smoke that was about waist high. Ladder 33 forced an entry and found that there was a fire in the kitchen. The scene quickly became intense, with crews finding a wheelchair-bound victim on the floor unconscious. She wasn't breathing due to smoke inhalation. So several of the firefighters were trying to move the victim with no success, and another firefighter kept repeating that he didn't know the way out, didn't know where he was, couldn't find the exit. So John was calm. He told everybody to stop what they were doing, take a deep breath, and relax. He then instructed the firefighters to grab an arm or a leg of the victim and carry her out. They followed orders, and the victim was quickly removed from the apartment. He also had the foresight to take a house line, that's the fire hose you find in a hallway, into the apartment, and he helped keep the fire in check as the victim was being removed from the apartment. So although the victim wasn't breathing, CPR wasn't necessary. The fire department EMS hyperventilated the victim, and she began to breathe again. She was transported to the hospital where she recovered and eventually contacted the crews who saved her life to thank them. And if not for the heroic actions of Senior Captain Manscalco, the Commotion during the fire would have delayed the victim's removal from the apartment and possibly resulted in her death. His foresight to take a house line in also greatly minimized damage to the apartment. And so John told us during the interview that in the 29 years he's been with the department, that was the first person he had ever saved. Prior to that day, he could only take credit for saving 1 dog, 2 cats, and a pigeon. That fair, John? So I love doing this. It's clear, these nominees exemplify the dedication to service, the importance of training, and the commitment to self-sacrifice that help make our fire department among the very best in the country. And this is another outstanding year with outstanding nominees, and our award really could go to any one of them. Their service and sacrifice is respected and appreciated by all of us. So to that point, because it's such a tough group, we couldn't just pick one winner, we had to pick 2. So our 2013 Firefighter of the Year award goes to Senior Captain Brett Hawthorne and Engineer Operator Dwayne Watt. A few words, though, gentlemen, please.
You go first. Oh, what an honor. Truly honored to be here. This is awesome. Can't say enough, by the grace of God, a little bit of luck,